Here is a strange YouTube video. In this video, the person speaking says that your thoughts can manifest things, can make things happen just by willing it and thinking it. Now that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But wait a minute. This happened to me once. Once in my life, I thought something and willed something, and it materialized. I should have done it much more, now that I know that it works. But when I was about 5 years old, there was a grocery store, because we didn't have supermarkets when I was 5. They had little grocery stores, and 5 and dimes. And I think this was a store right around the block from where I lived. 5 years old. I looked in the window, and he sold more than groceries. He had 5 and dime stuff. In that window was a bow and arrow set for my age. And why I say it was my age? Because it was mounted on cardboard. The bow was probably about maybe 2 feet long at the most, and had 1 or 2 arrows in it, but the arrows had suction cups on the end. It was a kid's toy. I looked at that. I stopped. Every time I went to that store or walked by it, I would stop and stare at that bow and arrow set. I was fixated on it. I wanted it, but I had no money at 5 years old to buy something. So every time I'd go to that store, stand outside, not inside, stand outside looking in the window because it was displayed in the window, and stare and want that bow and arrow set. Well, I went in the store one time, and the owner of the store handed me that bow and arrow set. Gave it to me. But he had the weirdest look on his face. He didn't say a word to me. He didn't say, "Oh, this, I saw you looking at this, kid, so I want to give it to you." He didn't say one word. His face was blank. His eyes were staring off in the distance. He didn't smile. He didn't wait for a thank you. He just handed me this bow and arrow set. And that was the end of it. He did that without a word spoken or an expression on his face. So now watching this video about thoughts and words will manifest. Well, it happened to me once. And as I said, I should have done it many more times in my life, but I didn't.